Welcome to Real Voices, Real Stories, where we dive into the lives of people who have been through unimaginable situations. Today, let's get into our first story, shared by a client who has since become a dear friend. She wanted to share her journey in the hopes of helping others find strength, awareness, and support.
Hi Cherry, this is my story. I'm a single mother, and my journey hasn't been easy. When I found out I was pregnant, my son's father vanished, leaving me to navigate motherhood alone. The pain of his absence was profound, but I poured my heart and soul into raising my boy. Life was hard, but my son and I became each other's whole world. We created a life with just the two of us, relying on each other, finding joy and comfort in our little family. After years of putting myself second, I finally met someone who seemed too good to be true. He was charming, kind, and attentive, showering me with love and affection I hadn't felt in years. He quickly embraced us as his family, promising to be the father figure my son never had. He'd tell me that he wanted to build a future with us, that he would adopt my son as his own, and that we'd finally be the family I'd always dreamed of. At first, I was overwhelmed with happiness. He made me feel safe, valued, and cherished. Gifts, surprise dates, trips, it felt like a dream. But as my relationship with him deepened, I began to notice subtle changes in my son. My boy, who was usually so warm and affectionate, grew more reserved, especially around my partner. He seemed tense, his usual light-hearted laughter becoming a rarity when my partner was near. When my partner proposed, I was elated, finally feeling that I'd found someone who would love and protect both me and my son. But my son's reaction was far from joyful. He became increasingly withdrawn, avoiding eye contact and showing signs of discomfort whenever I brought up the engagement. Despite my partner's attempts to bond with him, taking him on father-son outings and giving him thoughtful gifts, my son remained distant. I told myself he just needed time to adjust, that he'd eventually come around. Then, one night, my son approached me with tears in his eyes. He held my hand tightly, his small fingers trembling. "Mommy," he whispered, his voice breaking, "please don't marry him. I like it better when it's just us." I was taken aback, hurt, and confused by his plea. Why would he say that? This man loved us, took care of us, and was ready to be a father to him. I tried to dismiss my son's concerns, thinking he was just struggling with sharing me. But one afternoon, fate brought me home early from work. I wasn't feeling well, and all I wanted was to rest. As I entered the house, I heard muffled sounds coming from my son's room. My heart raced as I moved quietly down the hallway. What I saw next shattered my world. My son was bent over, tears streaming down his face, caught in a nightmare I should have seen coming. The man I had trusted, the one who claimed to love us, was hurting him in the worst way imaginable. In that instant, every moment of doubt, every withdrawn look, every word my son had said came crashing down on me. How could I have missed the signs? The betrayal cut deep, and the guilt was overwhelming. My heart ached as I held my son, realizing the unimaginable pain he had endured alone. I had failed to listen, to protect him, to see through the facade of the man I thought I knew. To all of you reading this, I'm sharing my story because I don't want anyone else to overlook the signs that I missed. Sometimes, we are blinded by love, by our own desires, by the belief that we've finally found someone who completes us. But our children are more intuitive than we think. When they speak, even when we don't understand, we need to listen. We need to pay attention, even when it's hard, even when it hurts.
What would you do in this situation? How do we teach ourselves to truly listen to our children, to protect them when they need the most? Please share your thoughts, advice, and stories. Let's support each other, because no one should have to go through this alone.